The Joe Rogan Experience.
There's occasionally you'll see a fighter that does something very artistic and striking that sort of elevates the standard. Like, did you see the Derrick Lewis-Ciryl Gane fight?
No.
You need to see that.
There's a knockout. Derrick Lewis got a knockout, right?
No, Ciryl Gane beat the shit out of him.
Oh, shit.
He shut him out. Like, it was a shutout for, I think he stopped him in the third. But, I mean, Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. It's crazy. He's bouncing like Wonder Boy. Like bouncing like this the entire fight, bouncing, throwing feints, like completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking. And I'm not exaggerating. I watched it 3 times. I watched it today, in fact. I watched it in the gym today while I was working out.
So better than like in Gane in terms of movement, in terms of he's like the best moving heavyweight.
There's no question he is the best moving heavyweight I've ever seen. No question. The best moving. It doesn't mean that, like, this is the way he fights. Like, look at how he, like, every time Derrick Lewis goes to set up to move towards him, Ciryl Gane is nowhere to be found. He lit Derrick Lewis up, man. And every time Derrick Lewis comes to him, like, look at that jab. I mean, his movement in terms of closing the distance is spectacular. Look at that front kick to the body. And I was severely impressed. I mean, he had beaten a lot of really good guys. Like, he beat Jairzinho Rosenstrike. He beat Junior Dos Santos, whose best days are behind him. But, you know, he's beaten some very, very good fighters. But to watch the way he beat Derrick Lewis, who's a legit one-punch knockout threat, and the technical acumen that he showed, the skill, the technique, the footwork, the movement, the understanding of distance, the ability to control everything that happened inside the octagon was spectacular.
That's art.
It changed my opinion of how a fight with him and Francis Ngannou would go down. At first, my thought is that Francis Ngannou has the nuclear option with everybody. He has such fucking power.
So does Derrick Lewis.
But Francis Ngannou,
he has the hydrogen bomb. Derrick Lewis is the atomic.
Well, they both have crazy one-punch power. But when you watch Ciryl Gane, you go, man, how the fuck does anybody... It's like Francis has excellent technique. Francis has ridiculous power. But he doesn't have the movement that Gane has. The question is, can Francis deal with the movement and maybe threaten him in a way that Derrick Lewis didn't figure out how to? And that's what makes the fight so interesting.
Yeah.
But the way that guy moves is something special, man. You only saw like little highlights of it there, but I've watched it pretty carefully in the 3 times that I watched it. I can't think of a single heavyweight that I've ever seen move like that. And there's no flaws in his clinch game. He understands like how to avoid the takedown. He understands pummeling. He understands distance and where he's safe, where he's not safe, and what to look for when he's pulling out of the clinch to not get hit. It's really amazing, man. He's on a fucking real high level, and he's undefeated. So I think he's 9-0 now or 10-0.
So he's gonna get a title shot.
Well, he's the interim heavyweight champion now.
Oh, that was for the heavyweight,
which is weird, right? Because
Yeah.
like Ngannou just won the fucking title.
Yeah.
Like, he's not injured. It's just like the UFC and Ngannou where it's some sort of a weird impasse. So they decided to make a interim title, which brings up all sorts of ethical discussions about what is an interim title. When is it? If the organization could just decide, oh, the negotiations aren't going so well, we're just going to have an interim title.
Right.
Like, how many months after when did he fight Stipe? When did Francis Ngannou fight Stipe? Let's take a guess.
2020.
Was it?
I think so.
It was definitely during the pandemic because it was at the...
I feel like it's November or something like that.
It was at the
March
Apex
27th.
Center.
March 27th.
Of 2021?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
It feels like way longer ago.
5 months ago.
Yeah, 5. Okay, 5 is long.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like how much time do you give a guy before, he defends his title. The difference in boxing is so different. Like boxers go the long stretch, and boxers enter into negotiations and negotiate. Like Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez, they've been dancing back and forth as to whether or not they're supposed to fight, and the negotiations fall apart, and they come back together again, and now they're supposedly in negotiations again for November. You know, boxing is so different. Watch the entire episode for free only on Spotify.